Type the missing letters to complete the text below. Example number 1. Let's first read the first and last sentence of the paragraph. Joanne Jo Rowling, born 31st July 1965, is the British dash. Who dash the Harry Potter dash. The last sentence is Rowling is the richest author in the world. So over here we are talking about an author or the writer, and we are talking about the book Harry Potter. Hello everyone, this video is going to be really helpful for you guys because I have included type the missing letters exercises from the practice tests, and I have discussed and explained all the answers. I have already discussed how to complete the missing letters in the Duolingo English test. Here is a quick revision. The first point is for a good comprehension of the text, you should be in habit of reading English newspapers, stories, etc. If you read more, you will be quick to understand how to fill out the missing parts of the paragraph. Secondly, always focus on the theme or topic of the paragraph. Read the paragraph once to get the idea about the theme and possible missing vocabulary. For example, if the topic is computers, then you might come across words like technology, hardware, software, etc. A very important thing is to focus on the use of tenses in a paragraph. The paragraph might be from a story. For example, if it's from a story or an event which has already passed, probably the verbs in the paragraph would be in past tense or the second form of verb, or maybe second form of the helping verbs such as had been, was, were, etc. We also need to note that if the missing word is in place of a verb, adjective, helping verb or preposition. So if you are familiar with the structure of an English sentence, then you will be easily able to find that out. Let's quickly get into our practice. Type the missing letters to complete the text below. Example number 1. Let's first read the first and last sentence of the paragraph. Joanne Jo Rowling, born 31st July 1965, is the British dash. Who dash the Harry Potter dash. The last sentence is Rowling is the richest author in the world. So over here we are talking about an author or the writer, and we are talking about the book Harry Potter. Let's discuss how we need to fill this out. Answer to the first blank is in the text. We can find that answer in the last sentence. We just need to add HOR in the first blank and it will become author and it will make sense. In the next few sentences, we are discussing the life and history of that author, so we can use the past tense in those sentences and we can say who wrote the Harry Potter dash. Harry Potter is a book series, as we all know, so we can enter books. The next sentence is she dash the dash J.K. Rowling dash. She is the subject, and after the subject we need to use the verb. So since the paragraph is in past tense, we will be using the second form of use, and that is used. The next word is name, which is a noun as well as an object of the sentence. For the next blank, we can see that the word is either professional or professionally. So the word professionally makes sense in this sentence and it also fits in the blank. Next sentence is the K stands dash Kathleen. Here we need a preposition which is for. There is further explanation of this name as we say which was her mother's first name. The word can be where, which, whose, but which fits in here. Next blank will be her grandmother. So it can be either his or her. So since we are talking about a lady, so it's going to be her grandmother. Dash name, again F-I-R-S-T, first name. Type the missing letters to complete the text below. Example 2. Let's read the first and last sentence. The Phones for You arena seats over 21,000 and is the largest indoor arena dash Europe. The last sentence, the sports ground in the country also hosts large pop concerts. There is also another keyword in the second sentence, and which is international venue. Now we can see that the passage is about the sports ground and about hosting concerts and about the seating capacity of the indoor arena and so on. So let's start filling out the blanks. The answer to the first blank is simple. The phones for your arena seats over 21,000 and is the largest indoor arena Europe. In the first blank we'll put in because this is the preposition and this is what we need before Europe. The preposition will show that the arena is located in Europe. It has been voted International Venue of the Year and for 70 years was the most popular venue in the world. In the first part of this sentence, we have used has because before been we need to use has, have, or had. Since the paragraph starts with the present tense, we can also put the present form of has or have in the first sentence. The third blank of the passage is a little bit tricky, but it's voted that we can put in here and it will make sense. Before year we can put the and later and for 70 years because we need to put the number of years before the word years. So we put 70. We have used was in the next blank because we are talking about the history of that arena. The word popular in the next part of the sentence is an adjective. So we need a noun after that, and before that we can use most. Type the missing letters to complete the text below. Let's read the first and the last sentence once again. Many people have depression. Although more women than men are diagnosed with depression, it is the most common mental illness for both men and women. Now we know that the paragraph is about depression and it's a mental illness and the paragraph is about some facts and information about depression. So this is how we will fill this out. Many people have depression. It is the most common form of disability in the world. The paragraph is in the present tense, so we will use is and then the most common. The word form is a noun and before that we are using most common, which is adjective. We have been given half of the word in the next blank, which is disable, and it's most probably disability in the word. Depression dash most often. Now the word depression is the subject of this sentence. So after the subject we need a verb. So we will write the first form of verb, which is happens. Most dash most often in people between the ages of 13-60. So it's going to be 13 and 60 years. Type the missing letters to complete the text below. Example 4. During May of 1816, Mary and her future husband Percy Bysshe Shelley traveled Lake Geneva to summer. Okay, let's take a look at the last sentence. At the same time, Mary was inspired to write her classic work. There are other keywords in the passage as well, like poet Lord Byron, English literature, summer, hymn to intellectual beauty, and Mont Blanc. So the passage is about the poets, their pieces of poetry, and there is some information about the events in their lives. So let's start filling this out. During May of 1816, Mary and her future husband Percy Bysshe Shelley traveled to Lake Geneva to spend summer. In the first blank we will put to because this is a preposition and this is what we need. to connect the word traveled to the word Lake Geneva, which is the place. After that, we have to spend, and it is a very important thing to remember that when we have a verb after the word to, it is always the first form. For example, over here we have to spend, but whenever we have a verb after to, you will notice that it is always in the first form of verb. To walk, to run, to spend, to take. All those verbs take their first form. Let's move on to the second part of the sentence. The blank is NE and we can put ER here to make it near. Near the famous poet Lord Byron. Now the sentence makes a complete sentence, which means that Mary and her future husband went to Lake Geneva to spend their summer near the famous poet Lord Byron. So half of the words are done for us, and we can easily guess that the second word is famous. The next sentence is in dash of English literature, it dash a great summer. So what fits in here is in terms of English literature. It was Percy began work of, again the second form of verb, him to intellectual beauty and Mont Blanc. At the same time, Mary was inspired to write her classic works. Type the missing letters to complete the text below. Example 5. The first sentence is Poirot had placed 2 chairs in front of the open window which dash a dash view dash the dash street. The last sentence, it was going to be a hot day. From both of these sentences we can see that the paragraph is in the past tense. There are words to be filled out before nouns, so most probably they are the adjectives. So let's see how we can fill out the blanks in this paragraph. Poirot had placed 2 chairs in front of the open window which had a clear view of the village. As it is clear from the first sentence that the passage has been taken from a story and we are reading about an event that has already happened, so we will be using past tense in the passage. That is the reason why we are putting had in the second blank. Next, we have used the adjective clear because after that we have a noun, so it becomes a clear view. Next is of, which is a preposition, and then village street. So we have the clue to the word VILL, village street. The next blank is before a noun, so that's an adjective. We will put the fresh air. Blew in. Blue is the second form of the word blow. The next one is it was warm and pleasant. It was going to be a hot day. The whole paragraph is in the past tense since it's the part of a story. The missing letters to complete the text below. Example number 6. Physical exercise is recommended for management of mild depression and has a moderate dash on dash. The last sentence, in older people it does appear to decrease depression. From the first and last sentence of the passage we know that the paragraph is about some facts and information about physical exercise and depression. Other keywords are like mild depression, therapies, older people, and decreased depression. So it's going to be about the physical well-being of a person. So let's see how we can complete the information in this paragraph. Physical exercise is recommended for management of mild depression and has a moderate effect on symptoms. Since we are talking about the management of mild depression, we can use words like effect or symptoms because this is vocabulary which is related to the health-related topics. The next sentence is it is equivalent to the use of medications. Again, medications is a perfect fit here because it is related to the issues of health. And in the next blank, we can type in psychological, because psychological therapies or medications are related to the treatment of depression. And then we have for the next blank and most people. So let's read the second sentence once again. It is equivalent to the use of medications or psychological therapies for most people. The last sentence, in older people, it does appear to decrease depression. Now all of this paragraph makes sense after we have typed in all the missing letters.